Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Friday live streams we have here on Fantasy Couch. We'll be going over the news. Lots of news, of course, on Fridays. Lots of news this year. A couple surprising pieces of news, actually, in Cleveland and with the 49ers. So we'll be going over that, answering all your questions. But most importantly, we do have a dilemma on our hands that concerns all of us in the Throne League. For those that don't know what the Throne League is, by the way, for those that don't know me, my name is Hussein the Brain. Welcome to the couch. Welcome to the couch family. We're all a family here. We call ourselves the Couch Fam. So, welcome. We have a dilemma in the Throne League here. So, the Throne League, for those that don't know, is a seemingly regular fantasy football league, but every team in there is actually a community started on Instagram. So we make decisions as a team. We had a draft as a team. I get a vote just like everybody else. So every single draft pick we voted on, we had a discussion about, and we have a trade offer right now from our arch rival, Smitty. So we will talk about that a little bit on this live stream and probably finish and decide on whether we accept this trade or decline it right after this live stream on Discord. And I'm going to go ahead and bring it up here in 1 second. Let me find the trade. There it is. There we go. So this is the trade. Let me see. That looks pretty good right there. So we would be getting Isaiah Pacheco and Puka Nakua. Okay, so we'd be receiving Pacheco and Puka, and we'd be sending away Eckler and Christian Watson. It's a pretty close vote so far. I voted for no, but I can be swayed. I think it's a good trade, a good offer, but I think I vote no. Um, the vote right now is 8-6, but we're gonna discuss. Like, not everything's black and white. I mean, we do have an official vote, but I wanted to open up a discussion and I wanted to end it today because it's such an important trade. And I wanted, if anybody wants to get their thoughts in, you know, I wanted to make sure that they were heard and maybe we come up with the best conclusion. One factor that I talked about on the podcast last night. Hopefully, you guys do listen or watch the podcast on our second channel. And if you do miss it because it's late nights, Thursday night, you can always watch the replay or listen to it on Spotify or Stitcher or Google Podcasts or Apple Podcasts. So I was saying, like, look, where's Derrick Henry going to get traded? Because I think you got to factor that in. So if we do get Pacheco and Derrick Henry goes to the Chiefs, then that's going to be a huge issue. We would be getting the Pacheco and Puka side. So again, this is a blockbuster trade offer in the Throne League. We would be getting Pacheco and Puka, and we'd be trading away Eckler and Watson. So these are the two guys on our team right now. We have Eckler and Watson, and we would be trading those two away to receive Pacheco and Puka. I mean, that's an option, but that's kind of lame, right? I mean, the offer might not be there. I guess that is an option we could vote for, as in, like, hey, don't hit decline or accept yet. I think that's the thing. If we decide not to go with the trade, we wouldn't hit decline. We wouldn't hit the decline button, but we would, we could decide to counter it. I guess that is an option. I don't think it's a great option though. Sully wants this trade. Okay. All right, let's go through the news and let's do AMA. Then we'll discuss the trade. All right, because I kind of want to hop off this live stream, hop on Discord, and talk about the trade. But I'll get to your questions. Should be able to answer most of the questions in the chat. But most people are already tuned in. We've been live for 6-7 minutes. Let's go through the news and then we'll do AMA. All right, guys, let's do the news. Surprise, surprise, Brock Purdy, full practice today, practiced yesterday as well. He's questionable, but he is actually on pace to start Sunday afternoon. He has only one step left in the concussion protocol to clear, and then he'll be able to play. So it's a very likely scenario that he plays. And of course, if he's cleared to play, he will, in fact, be the starter. Pretty big game against the Bengals in the second wave of games for Sunday. So Brock Purdy actually might play. Deebo Samuel, however, is out. Moving on to the Raiders, Jimmy Garoppolo practiced in full today, Friday, and he is expected to play. Daniel Carlson did not practice Thursday. He is questionable, but we'll see what happens. Good chance he does play. Tyler Lockett, he's questionable, but he's on track to play. He should be good to go. Joshua Palmer on the Chargers is actually going to be a game time decision. That's a pretty big deal. Gerald Everett and what's his name? Jalen Guyton, I believe. I know it's Guyton for sure. Those two guys are questionable. So Jalen Guyton, the wide receiver, and Gerald Everett, the tight end, those two are questionable. So I don't know if it was another bye week, I would probably start Quentin Johnston, but in the duos league, I think we're gonna bench Quentin Johnston. We hate him so much, but this could be a sneaky start for QJ. We'll see. Because literally all the receivers for the Chargers are hurt. Maybe they do play, but we don't know. Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle are both good to go for the Dolphins. Kyler Murray, no injury designation, but he's doubtful he's not going to play. Good chance he comes back week 9 or 10, though, for the Cardinals. Juwan Johnson, the Saints tight end, is finally good to go, but the Saints have way more injuries. I think they had like some kind of illness there. A lot of people caught a bug or something. Like Taysom Hill's questionable, for instance. I think Jimmy Graham's questionable, but Juwan Johnson is finally good to go. He's going to play. He's the Saints starting tight end. Zach Moss, the Colts surprisingly good running back. Zach Moss is questionable. Deontay Johnson is good to go for the Steelers. And Aaron Jones says this is the best he felt since he's been dealing with injuries this year. So he's not 100%, and he's not as he doesn't feel as good as he did for the opener, which was against the Bears, I believe. Yeah. So he doesn't feel that good, but he's feeling much better. Best he's felt since he started suffering injuries this year. So could be on a little bit of a snap count. Matt LaFleur says they're going to be smart with Aaron Jones. But this is still very promising news. As long as he doesn't have a setback this game or anything like that, Aaron Jones should be pretty much at 100% after this week. Justin Fields is out. Roschon Johnson finally clears concussion protocol. He is good to go for the Bears. And in Green Bay news, more Green Bay news, Luke Musgrave, Devondre Campbell, Jair Alexander, and Josh Myers are all questionable. Jerome Ford, we thought he was going to be out, but he's back at practice leading RB drills and is questionable now this week, which is crazy. The Rams found their new kicker, Lucas Havrisik, whoever the heck that is. I think he was on the Browns and some other team, maybe the Colts or something like that before. TJ Hawkinson is good to go. Daniel Jones is out. And Coach Dable is saying that he doesn't even know if he's going to be back this year. So I don't know exactly what that means, but what it means to us is that we don't know if Daniel Jones is going to miss 1 week or several weeks. So be prepared for that. Darren Waller is questionable with the hamstring. So this is one reason I told everyone to trade away Darren Waller. Look, it might end up being a dumb thing. I said a very bad piece of advice, but this is the reason why. At least they had a reason. And that reason was that I do believe that Darren Waller will be dealing with this hamstring issue or hamstring issues throughout the entire season. So this is something we will see every week. Every week we're going to see limited practice. Every week we're going to see questionable. And every week we're not going to know for sure if Darren Waller is starting. Now you expect him to play. I expect him to play for sure. But it is something to watch. And who knows if the Giants lose some more games and the hamstring keeps acting up because it's a nerve issue. We know that now. I don't like that. It's not something I like. So that is why, at least I had, I think, a good reason to tell people to look, ship Darren Waller, get rid of him while you can. And he just had a really good game. So maybe now is the best time to ship him. Or once once he's like, hey, he's good to play. Like maybe if you can make a last minute trade before they play this week, could be a good time to ship him because I think you can get a lot for him. A lot of people need a tight end if they were desperate for a tight end and couldn't get Dalton Kincaid. We all know that Ryan Tannehill is out. Now, Will Levis is expected to start, but we don't know what's going on here. Coach Vrabel is alluding to maybe both these quarterbacks. I just saw I misspelled Malik Willis, whatever. Who cares? It's not even important. If you're starting these guys, you've already lost this year. There's no bye weeks this week. So, yeah, you've already lost. But Malik Willis could get some snaps. Will Levis could get some snaps. All I know is that the Falcons they face the Falcons, right? It should be good. It should be a good start if you're in need of a defense to stream. Yeah, Atlanta faces the Titans Sunday morning, especially if they're going to trade away Derrick Henry. Maybe we see something there. So Titans probably not going to score a lot of points, probably not going to be an explosive offense. David Montgomery did not practice Friday. Now, the big problem with that is that the Lions do play Monday Night Football, so he is questionable. He's probably not going to play, but he does have an extra day to recover. We'll see what happens there. Justin Ross is placed on the commissioner's exempt list. We saw he got arrested, I believe, the other day. Something that seems complicated what the reasons for that is. And so seems like the commissioner and the NFL is going to take a closer look to see what really happened here because they conduct their own investigation. They don't just go off of what the police say or what the court system does. Although they do look at that, they got to do their own investigation. Texans wide receiver Robert Woods is out. Again, Zay Jones is out. He's barely played this year, and he's been day to day. That's been just all lies because this man's barely played. He's played like 2 games this year. And for the Jets, good news for them. Sauce Gardner and DJ Reed are good to go. I think that was the last. That was the last one. Yes. All right, let's answer some questions and then we'll hop off on here and head on over to Discord. Oops. Pick 2. Jacobs, Hunt, London, Joshua Downs, Nico Collins, Ridley, and Hubbard. I don't think I trust Chuba Hubbard. I start Josh Jacobs for sure. I like Kareem Hunt only if Jerome Ford is out. Yeah, so start Kareem Hunt if Jerome Ford is out. Bench Joshua Downs. bench Ridley, bench Chuba Hubbard, and bench Drake London. So I'm going to go with Josh Jacobs and Kareem Hunt. If Jerome Ford is active, go ahead and go with Nico Collins instead. George Pickens or Christian Watson. That's a real tough one because to me this is more about how healthy Christian Watson is. So he could be on a snap count. So unfortunately, I need more information on this. And if it was me, I would wait. I would wait. 100% healthy Christian Watson. I'm going with Watson. Watson on a snap count. I'm going with Pickens. And this will be at least it's not a great answer. It's not amazing news right now for Friday. It's not what you want to hear, but at least like you have my one factor, and that's literally the only factor that would decide this. I need to see some news. So for right now, just start George Pickens. He's been hot. He's one of my guys I've always liked, and you can't really go wrong with him. So start George Pickens, and then there's a small chance we'll pivot. We need to hear some really good news about Christian Watson for us to make a decision and bench Pickens. So start Pickens for now. Olave or Nico Collins? Let's go with Nico Collins. Stroud or Dak? I think we're going to go with Dak. Yeah, let's go with Dak Prescott. Scoring doesn't really matter too much. Oh, you're welcome. Yeah. Would Purdy be the first one this year to pass the concussion protocol within the week? I'm not 100% sure. I think yes, but definitely what I know is that when he said he had a concussion, they saw symptoms on the flight back, I think, from their game or whatever it was. Everyone, including me, was basically convinced that he wouldn't play. So he's definitely making progress really fast. I don't know what the Niners are doing. I'm not implying anything, but it's pretty remarkable. Um, I think he has one less day to do it too. Because did they play Monday night against? Was it Monday night against the Vikings? Probably was. Yeah, Monday night. I remember Hawkinson. He won a like a little weekly tournament for me, best ball. Um, yeah, I don't know for sure, but it's definitely I don't know if it's record setting, but it's definitely very, very difficult to clear concussion protocol that fast, extremely fast. You're welcome. Streaming QBs in a league. Love Hal Carr Stroud. Go with CJ Stroud. I think Brian Burns is questionable. Panthers defense is kind of messy. I like Stroud. Okay, good question. Dustin Hopkins or Brandon Aubrey rest of season. Um, I'm gonna give you functional advice. Who cares rest of season? Just play this week. Are you in a league where you can't add any players or something? Or I mean, some people definitely like 1% of people watching this are in a league where they have to pay $5 uh to make acquisitions. So I guess in that case, but as of right now, I don't really care about rest of season. So this week is going to be Brandon Aubrey. But if I had to answer rest of season too, I probably would say Brandon Aubrey. I just think Brandon Aubrey is going to be up and down. But this week, it's so good. And this week is so important to win. Everybody's league is super close. Unless you're in dead last, right? Unless you've won 0 or 1 games. Um, it's up for grabs. The fantasy trophy is up for grabs this year. And this week, winning is more important than ever. Okay, don't start Bryce Young. I would go with Love or Howell. Jordan Love or Sam Howell? Let's go with Sam Howell. Olave or Devontae Smith? Devontae Smith has been so ice cold. I think we're just going to go with Olave, man. I think we have to. Yeah, let's go with Chris Olave. Ridley, London, Watson, Rashid Rice, Deontay Johnson. Okay, so definitely start Calvin Ridley. Not start Drake London. My third option would be Deontay Johnson. Guess it kind of depends. Deontay Johnson, full PPR. Drake London, non-P. Oh, it's half PPR, yeah. Which is pretty close. I mean, I don't never know how to respond to these when they be like, well, do I worry? Am I scared? Or, I mean, I don't really care about that stuff about being worried or scared or emotional or like, what do you want, man? There's people, there's players, and you have to decide which ones to start. If Calvin Ridley was putting up Justin Jefferson numbers, we wouldn't ask this question. You would just start him. You wouldn't need my help. You wouldn't need a second opinion. I mean, I don't even know I don't even know how to answer this. Like, what do you know, what do you, what do you want? Like, is it an easy choice? No, it's a tough choice, and that's why you're asking me to get a second opinion. And I think that's just the best. That's just the best choice. E111 is saying, "Oh, Ridley's going to go off and this and that." Look, the truth is, nobody knows how any player is going to do, right? So we just got to go with the best choice, and that's why I've told maybe a couple people to bench Calvin Ridley, and I've told a few people to start Calvin Ridley this week, just trying to go with the best option. I mean, recency bias is, I mean, that's just silly. So let me just kind of compare other sports. So in other sports, so baseball is going to be the most. I don't watch a lot of baseball, but I've read about, fantasy. I've researched a lot about fantasy, and baseball does come up. So baseball is actually the most volatile sport when it comes to game by game. So a batter can easily go 0 for 3 at bat in a game 0 for 4 easily, like, and the best batter ever. And then the next game could hit multiple home runs. Like, it happens all the time. And that's what happens when you just look at one game. And then just coincidentally, you're looking at the very last game. So if you look at the very last game in baseball, literally the best hitter ever was 0.0000, right? Didn't even get one hit, just got struck out, just looked terrible, even fell while he was swinging the bat. And then the next game, he hits 2 home runs. So it's like this happens all the time. And football is much more consistent than baseball for obvious reasons when you're looking at game to game. But it is very silly just to look at one game and be like, nah, right? Like, we don't do that with Josh Allen when he has his worst game or anybody else, right? We look at, okay, is he injured? Is he dead? Okay, like, start him. So with Ridley, he goes down a notch in my book for sure. Like, this is probably the first week I'm actually telling people to bench him, but not everybody. I'm only telling like 1 out of 3 questions answered to bench Ridley. So he's still better option than a lot of players out there. But if you have a guy like Nico Collins, I'd rather start Nico Collins this week than Calvin Ridley. You know, that's all it is. A versus B. We're not, or since you're kind of asking from a place of emotion, it seems like, instead of, being more, I don't know the right word, analytical. I don't know. You could just say, I'm choosing the best of two evils, the whatever the heck the phrase is. I don't know. However, I can convey this message to you, I'm trying to convey it to you. Thank you so much, Travis. That's right. Smash that like button. Jordan Love or Kenny Pickett. We will never start Kenny Pickett on this program. Don't go against the family. Don't ever start Kenny Pickett. That guy has like the least upside out of all quarterbacks. I guess the only quarterbacks that have less upside than Kenny Pickett are gonna be those guys that like coming in for an injured player, right? Like Malik Willis or something. Really will be better when Jones returns. I could be mistaken, but think when Jones played, it was Ridley's best games. Yes. I'm hoping so. Would you sit Brian Robinson for Ford if he plays? D Genders or who's D Genders? D Genders? I don't know who that is. D Genders or Chuba Sanders? Bro, I don't even know. You're on one today, bro. You're probably at work or something and just not you Eric, this is your off day for Eric. You get excused though. You know, take the rest of the day off, man. You're good. I don't even know what you're talking about anymore. Am I scared? Am I this? What's up? I don't know what's up. What's up with you today, Eric? I'll answer the first one though. Brian Robinson versus Jerome Ford. I'm terrified of Jerome Ford. Brian Robinson's not a great start either, though. Unfortunately, as of right now, I'm saying Brian Robinson. Now, Brian Robinson, he plays earlier, so I think it's just best to start him. Unless we get some more drastic news, just start Brian Robinson. Ford might not play. And if he does play, it could be very limited. Pickett or Young. No, that's actually a good one. But I think we would go Bryce Young. I really do. That's actually pretty close, but I'm gonna go with Bryce Young. That's actually pretty close, yeah. Because there's like there are some quarterbacks that probably are worse than Pickett. You know, maybe Ritter, maybe Tyson Bagent, whatever his name is, PJ Walker, any Titans quarterback, Tyrod Taylor, Bryce Young with, it was a good question. Baker Mayfield, Mac Jones. Did I say Zach Wilson? Maybe Joshua Dobbs. So there are some players definitely. So maybe a slight exaggeration when I said that. That definitely makes sense. Yeah, Zay Jones. Yeah. So Calvin Ridley's just like on the outside, and Christian Kirk's just, he gets those easy, over the middle, wide open catches and just racks up a ton of targets and receptions. I did not. And I didn't even try to make fun of Kenny Pickett, but I just named like 8 quarterbacks that could be worse than him. We're talking about fantasy points. Kenny Pickett, he still could have a career in the NFL for sure. But we're talking fantasy football. He just doesn't offer that upside. Like I preach, you need floor, you need consistency, you need a guy you can depend on in when you're playing regular fantasy because you're just trying to beat one opponent. That's what you need. At the same time, I mean, you got to score fantasy points. Like I don't care if you consistently give me 8 points and never go below that. That's not enough to win. We still need a little bit of upside. Like we need that. And other guys offer that. Like Joe Burrow offers that. Even Russell Wilson offers that in garbage time. I think Jimmy Garoppolo has more upside. He throws a lot of picks. He doesn't look great. He's a little inconsistent, but he's throwing to Michael Mayer, Jacoby Myers, and Devontae Adams, and he's slinging it a little bit. Like Pickett, man, other than throwing to George Pickens, I don't know. Jordan Love, no, I'm a big fan of his. I'm a believer. He's been playing poorly as of late, but no, I don't hate Jordan Love at all. Just look at Kenny Pickett. Like he barely gets you 10 fantasy points. Like he's always giving you like 11 fantasy points. It's pretty weak. I'm curious if this new offensive play caller for the Panthers will ruin the Thielen greatness we've been getting. Also, will love it. Sanders was just benched till fully healthy, so I can start Chuba. Yeah, the Chuba Sanders thing is disgusting. I'd stay away from that. It could be a straight up 50-50 split. As far as Thielen, he's getting so many targets. I wouldn't worry about it because if you took away 20% of Thielen's targets, that's still fine. Instead of getting 11 targets, he'd get 9, which is still elite. That's still great. That's still awesome, man. All right, guys. So we're going to head on over to the Discord. And instead of asking, I'll just drop a link right now. If you guys do want to hop on, we're going to discuss this trade. We can discuss it a little bit. So I'm going to hop off in a minute. So here is the trade. We did want to discuss it, come to a conclusion. But some people pointed out we don't have to necessarily hit decline or accept. We could leave it be for now and see where Derrick Henry goes, let's say. We could counter, right? So it's up to you guys. The vote was really close, lots of mixed opinions. So that's why I wanted to have a discussion. So we can discuss it right now for the last minute. But I think ultimately we want to hop on a call on Discord and talk about it. And I voted no for this trade, but I can definitely be swayed. I like Pacheco a lot. I love Puka. I also really believe in Christian Watson. And I believe in a healthy Eckler, but just this year he may not have really been healthy. So I'm going to drop a link to the Discord if you guys do want to join. It's our trade, by the way. Oh, Dana. Awesome. Awesome. See, look at this. This guy's saying this is a great trade. This guy's saying veto this. I don't know what that means. Veto it. Like, you mean decline? I don't think it's worth like banning someone for it's a pretty even trade. You're welcome, Dana, Dalton Kincaid, or as we call him, King Cade. Here is a link to the Discord. When you do go on the Discord, if you're new, make sure you go to the welcome channel and hit the green check emoji. That way you will get in the Discord, and then we will hop on the voice channel on there in a couple of minutes. So there is the link to the Discord. It is a private Discord. You can't just get in unless you have a special invite link. Travis, yes, let's talk about the trade. Puka over Watson for sure, but it's the Eckler Pacheco part that's hard. Yeah, and that's the thing, guys. If Christian Watson and Eckler were both 100%, right? They didn't both get injured like twice this year. They both got injured twice this year. Oh, I got you. Okay. Yeah, the joke is valid. Like it's such an even trade. Otherwise, I wouldn't even be bringing it up. We'd either do a quick vote or I would just decline it myself. That's the main part for me is that we're getting 2 younger and healthier players for 2 older and injured players. I think that's the part where I can easily be swayed. I mean, I know that Christian Watson is young, but I mean, we're not comparing just all the NFL players. We're comparing these 4 NFL players, these 2 sides here. And when you add them up, one side has 4 injuries and is a lot older and has a lot more tread on the tires versus the other side, very little tread on the tires, no injuries, so less injury prone. Just automatically, it's just a fact. It's just statistics. Players that already get hurt are more injury prone. Like it just is just how it is, especially recent injuries. No, that's the IG Experts League. Good memory. This is the Throne League. This is the league where we all vote together. So literally a vote. So like if we hop on Discord and 10 people say accept the trade, I don't even care what I think. I'm gonna accept it because we all make a decision together. The followers draft the players for me. I'm involved too. I get a vote as well, but you guys are voting on this. So this is the community versus community league. Same thing with Smitty. Smitty has to get okay from his community before he makes decisions. He has votes on every player they drafted as well. Okay, so King Jack is selfish, doesn't want to talk about our trade, only wants to talk about his trade. That's fine, though. We'll end it on that. Did I win or lose this trade? Tyreek Hill, Miles Sanders, Kareem Hunt, AJ Brown, Brees Hall, Monty. I think you won because in a trade like this, I'm kind of considering Miles Sanders and Kareem Hunt as zero. That's I talked about this on the podcast last night. We talked about a Christian McCaffrey trade. I'm like, he traded Jonnu Smith and Judy. Okay, I remember Jonnu Smith and Judy were involved in a Christian McCaffrey trade, and I was telling the guy, look, when you're trading for literally the most valuable player in fantasy, Christian McCaffrey, and you're trading what literally Tyreek Hill, guys like that, the second most valuable player in fantasy football. These guys like Kareem Hunt and Miles Sanders don't matter to me. They're both good. They're both like RB3 flex, right? So they're both like barely startable. I'll get to kind of say it like that. I'm just I'm just joking, giving you a hard time. But this is interesting. I find this trade interesting. So at least that's good. I think people can take away something from a trade like this. So you're giving up Tyreek Hill and two nobodies. Remember, this is not any slander against Miles Sanders or Kareem Hunt, but when you do a blockbuster trade, those guys are just so irrelevant, right? Like let's say we're gambling or playing or doing something or trading stocks or something, and every day I'm making deals that are hundreds of thousands of dollars, right? So every week I'm trading over $1 million, like $1 million trades, right? So when you give me like some penny stock that's like, hey, can I, put in like $50 or $500? I'm like, dude, I don't care. That's what Miles Sanders and Kareem Hunt are, like little $500 investments. We're talking about big boy stuff here, right? We're talking about $100,000 in Tyreek Hill. Like we're talking about big money, big valuable pieces here. So those two don't matter. I think it's a dub. I think going from Tyreek Hill to AJ Brown is not that big of a drop at all. And then you're getting Brees Hall, elite running back. You're getting David Montgomery, really good running back. So I think you win with a huge win. And I think that's the answer you were kind of expecting. I think that was kind of a flex, more of a flex. I think you were really expecting me to say that. Or maybe not. Maybe you were kind of conscious of this trade and wanted an opinion, but I think you knew that. And I think this is a pretty big dub. I think you did really good with this trade. You used a guy like Tyreek Hill, who's kind of like the best wide receiver in all of fantasy, right? Use that big name. And he deserves that, to go get AJ Brown, who's just a little bit worse than Tyreek Hill. It's not that big of a difference. And you got two player like Brees Hall and Montgomery are not like flex starts. They're like RB1s. So I think you got a huge dub on this. So let's say you lose like not like half a point by getting AJ Brown, but you gain like insane value with guys like Brees Hall and David Montgomery. This guy's got two guys that are just going to be a waste of roster space, and Miles Sanders and Kareem Hunt. So you dump those two guys on him. Oh, okay. Well, I love that. Yeah, show them this clip. Oh man, we're gonna hop off now. Everyone's just asking questions all of a sudden. All right, I'll answer your questions. We haven't been live that long, but I did drop the Discord link. Soon after this, we'll hop on Discord. Traded Stroud for Deontay. I probably rather have Stroud. Yeah, everyone here agrees with it too, I'm sure. Yeah, I think you got a pretty big dub with that trade. Good job, man. And I broke it down pretty so if you're going to play this clip for your trade partner, I broke it down in pretty good detail on why I think so. Trade away Josh Jacobs. Will I still have a chance for Barkley or similar? I think it's kind of an even trade. I'm a certified Josh Jacobs hater, so if you can get something you like, I would do it. But maybe just wait one more week. I think that's the best case. I think Josh Jacobs should have a good game this week. The team in my league with Tyreek and AJV is 7-0. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, and most teams don't have those two guys. I already have Tyreek and Adams, so I feel like this would make my team crazy. Traded Addison, Josh Jacobs, Gus Edwards for Cup and Mixon. Oh, I love that trade. Good job, man. I love Cooper Cup. Trading away Tua for Kittle and Nico Collins. Smooth CS. Did I win? I think this is an even trade. I think Tua's pretty valuable. I think it's a pretty even trade. I would say no, you didn't win, and no, you didn't lose either, though. Could be a trade that benefits both sides very good. I think Pacheco's consistency as Puka has me leaning towards that side of the trade. Okay. We're getting some good feedback on this trade. Trade Addison, Josh Jacobs, and Gus. Oh, this is a question. Okay. Yeah, I like the Cooper Cup side for sure. Go get Cooper Cup and Mixon. Handle that for sure. Now the Bengals, now that's a team that won't go trade for Derrick Henry. But you're talking about the Vikings and the Ravens, especially the Ravens. That's the Ravens is a team that could trade for Derrick Henry. So you got to factor that in. You're giving away Gus Edwards, who just is kind of inconsistent, unreliable. I'm a fan, but it is what it is. There's still Justice Hill there and Lamar Jackson, etc. All right, guys, we'll head on over to the Discord, make a decision on this trade. Again, here is the Discord link. If you're new there, go to the welcome channel, click the green check emoji to get in. Again, you have to go to the welcome channel, hit the green check emoji to get in. We'll head on over to the voice channel, general voice channel. It's under voice. You can talk, you can listen, you can do both. It's lots of fun. Sometimes it gets heated. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. See you on Discord. Good luck this week.